with the world's most dangerous podcast, Not So Common NSC. Today is going to be a part 2 to a podcast we did earlier. I'm talking about like months ago. Like, when was the last time we were here?
Oh, November.
It's November.
Yes.
And something has been trying to stop us from doing this interview, doing this podcast. We did a whole hour and nothing recorded. And it was a good one, wasn't it?
It was very good. It was very good.
It was annoying. I was like, then the podcast studio that we were at closed down.
Right. Wow.
So we had to deal with that. But here we are, 4 months later?
Yes.
Ready to finally do this. And then we almost had issues with the studio today.
Yes.
So
and issues today.
You're trying to do something. Whatever can happen will happen.
Yeah, well, it happens.
So let's get into it. We're here with the author herself, the poet, Doris.
Doris. Yes, my name is Doris Hannah Turner, and I am from Detroit, and very excited to be here in Texas, and just excited. I come from Detroit, but I was born in Mount Clemens, which is a little town outside of Detroit. And that's where I was raised. I have written 3 books. Well, shall I say 2 books, but one book is an accumulation of a widow's resilience of 14 women who lost their husbands and tell how they moved on in life. And so the other 2 books is poetry.
That's nice. Now, how long have you been doing poetry?
Well, it's been about 40 years that I did the African rock. It took me about 40 years, but I never thought that...
Wait, African rock, this book here?
Yes.
40 years ago?
No, it's accumulation of 40 years of poetry. And so I never thought that I would write I did the poetry, but you know how you write something, you put it in a book, almost like you're journaling,
yes.
And you just put it aside and you never throw it away because you never know what you're going to do with it. Mm-hmm. So I took these poems and, during I had a family reunion, 2018, and I written some more poems. Mm-hmm. So by then I might have had about 20 poems. And then in 2019, when my husband died, I probably wrote about 20 more poems. And then, so that was an accumulation of about 40 poems. And so I said, well, I'm going to publish this. So I reached out to a friend who gave me some information, and King's Daughter Publishing out of North Carolina, is who I was in touch with. And so she helped me with the cover and she did the publishing of it. And then the second book is, called Listen. And this one has about 90 poems in it. And it took me, I started right after I did this one. This one was published in 2020. Yeah. Right after I did this one in February, I just started writing poems again. They just started coming to me. Mm-hmm. And then it was during the pandemic, and you sit around a lot and you think, and it's just life. So both of my poems is really about life. It's free flow, mm-hmm. and about life, and things happen. Somebody make you mad. You write a poem, you're sitting there and something else happens, or death or life, or just the journey of your life. That's what it's about.
I can relate to that because it's funny you say that you write stuff and then, you might have it sitting around for a while, because just this morning, I was in my room and I'm doing something else, not even worried about that. Mm-hmm. And then I just so happened to find a notebook, and it was something I wrote mid last year. Okay. And I just was writing in my thoughts. Right. My thoughts down. And I was like, I remember this. This is where I was at that time. Right. You realize in life what was on your mind, what was going on. Right. You just captured it. Right. Words, not a picture, but just words. Your own thoughts in your head. I like that.
Right. And the words tells the picture.
It does.
It tells the picture.
I like that. And this is the one I have. Listen.
Yes.
This is the one I had.
That's the one that you have.
So this is a good one. I can't tell you about the rest of them. I know this one is a good one. So, all right. So you want to tell a little bit about, like what, like, okay, let's say somebody does make you mad.
Okay.
How would you write this poem? Is it a nice poem? Is it sorry poem?
I can recite one for you.
Okay.
Let me see. It's called Judgmental Arsis. And I think I know it by heart, but in case I don't, I'm going to pull this out. Okay. So someone kind of ticked me off about something, and I wrote this. It's called Judgmental Arsis. Your opinion is a judgment that I don't care to hear. Will it uplift my spirit, or will it cause me despair? You are not my judge nor jury, so why should I care? Do you want unwanted advice creeping up in your life? No matter how big or small, your advice is meant to stay in your thoughts. It's not meant to express to all. I have weathered the storms of my life and defeated the challenges that the devil has tried to cast upon me. So I own the right to manage my own life without your judgmental advice. When you have walked in my shoes, then maybe you can give me your advice. The next time you have an opinion, keep it to yourself. Figure out how to handle your own test of life. Let's keep it real. Focus on your life, because I don't need your judgmental advice.
You know what's good about that one?
What is it?
Everybody can relate.
Yes.
Everybody can relate to that.
Yes.
Everybody gets judged. Everybody, and here's the thing, not only does everybody get judged, but it's always people that think you need to hear their opinion.
Yes, they do.
I don't understand that.
Well, sometimes I think we just because I'm sitting down telling you something about my life, it doesn't mean that I want your opinion.
Exactly.
You know, sometimes you just need to listen.
Yeah, but I think people think, well, as long as they're talking to me, I have a right to, give my 2 cents. And I think people listen to, they pretend like I'm listening to have you vent or because they care, but in reality, they're listening to give you their opinion.
Right. Right.
Just to be heard.
Just like when my husband died, people want to tell you how long to grieve or how you should grieve or what you shouldn't do or you shouldn't date again or, maybe it's too early for you to do this. Now, one thing I do admit, it is good not to get into any type of relationship as soon as you lose someone because someone will probably get hurt. And because you're going through a different journey, because I was married at 19 and I was married for 44 years. I had a good marriage, a good husband. But by being married at 19, raising 3 children, you sometimes lose yourself. I didn't really lose myself, but everything was centered around the family.
Yeah, kids need this and they need all this. Right. You got to put yourself.
Right. I worked around everybody's schedule. And so there was things that I had to figure out, what is it that Doris like? What is it that Doris want to do? So that's what happened to me. And I had to learn life about what I liked in this journey of life for myself. It no longer included my husband. My children had their lives, so you can't really depend on them. They love you. They want to be there for you, but they don't want you tagging on their coattail. Right. They want to live their life, and they want you to learn how to live your life. They love you, but they're going to do them. Yeah. And so you have to learn how to do you. So that's what's important.
So relearning, like basically just... what did I like at 19 years old? What did I like before I got married?
Right. Right.
And I guess trying to kindle it, put it.
Figure it out. You got to figure it out. That's for sure.
So this is what you were into at 19 or before you got married?
Well, No, I wasn't. I went to high school, and then when I turned 40, I was a stay-at-home mom, did a few little jobs, but my jobs that I did was outside, was when the family didn't need me. And then, when I turned about 40, I wanted to go back to school before I was 40. So I went back to school, and the pastor of the church where I was going, he wanted people to go to the California School of Ministry, which was housed in our church. Okay. They had other places that they did the school in California. Mm-hmm. So he offered a free class. And so I took the class because I always wanted to go back to school. What didn't really matter what for, didn't know what I really wanted to do. Yeah. I just wanted to do something. Yeah. And so I went back and got a certificate in college. Don't think I'm going back, but at 67, I think I'm doing just fine, so, but anyway, I went back to school and I accomplished something. And so, that's what I did. But also I always had some type of, I've always been an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. So I sold, I did things like that. One time I learned how to dress little black dolls, and I would dress them in African wear, and I would go to the conventions and I would sell these dolls, like $25, $30. If it was a grandmother, it was like $45. If I did a man with a mustache and stuff, that was like $50. And it was very popular.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
it was very popular. I think I only have 2 of those dolls left. Well, one of the other things that I did was cooking. I make soup, like different types of soup. A lot of people know me as maybe the soup lady in Detroit, and I put it on Facebook, and people buy my soup. It's really good soup. And also, when I turned vegan, I started preparing meals, and then sometimes people ask me to prepare things for them. And so I do that. I also have what I call my alter ego personality, and I call her my sister. I'm Doris Dean, and her name is Lady Dean, and I have fun with that.
This time.
Yeah, I did.
Did you? Oh, okay, all right.
Of course, I bought her. Okay, I can't leave her. She's my sister, my twin.
Okay.
But yeah, she's here.
All right. But do you so you still do, I remember last time you was telling me about the did you have some like vegan ribs or something like that?
I did, but it was just so much going on that I didn't get a chance to make them. Then it's a lot going on at my aunt's house right now, so I couldn't get something together, but it will happen.
Yeah, I need to see what that's all about, because I can't see it right now.
You can't see it? I thought about it, but it's just so much going on. But they're very good. Very good.
That's good. You enjoying yourself here in Texas right now?
Yes, I am. Especially with the cousin that came. She had a car, because we're not on wheels right now, but she had a car. And so she brought me here today. And so we're going to try to go down to the rodeo a little bit. And
really?
Yeah, we're going to try. If it's probably too many people.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of people.
They just want to go and take a picture somewhere. So that would be fine. So,
well, for everybody that don't know, we are related too. So.
Yes.
We actually met at the last reunion.
Yes, we did. Yeah, and I knew his mother like 5 years ago, maybe I met his mom.
Oh, did you?
Yes. I met your mom. And I met her through a niece that she worked with. That's how I met your mother.
She worked with?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. I met her through my niece. Yeah. Worked with her. And she said what her last name was, and their both last names was Hannah. And so when my niece called me, and that's how we found out that we was related. And that's when I met your grandmother as well.
Oh, I had no clue.
You didn't know. Yep. That's how I met your grandmother and your mom. That's how.
They wrote a poem about finding family.
Well, if we knew what we knew, if we knew now what we knew back then. I have a poem about if I knew now what I knew then, I would have asked questions. You know what I mean? I would have asked questions about who, what, where, when, why. I would have asked. But when we are young, we don't realize what we have before us. A lot of people, when they have their grandparents and they have all the people around them, we're so involved with so many other things that we forget about the jewels that we have in front of us.
That's interesting, because even at my job right now, we talk about things like that. We have, some people with families or some younger ones without, and all the younger ones, they want to work, overtime, but they don't understand, it sounds cool to keep working, getting all this overtime, which the more overtime you work, the more they're going to take anyway.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It's like, what are you missing out on?
Right.
Even the guys with the kids, they're like, I'm missing time with my kids. I got to stop working on this overtime.
Right.
Kids don't know me.
Right.
I'm here.
I have a family member who was working, just working so much, and have a couple of children. Mm-hmm. And, life happens no matter if you're rich or poor, black or white, healthy or not. Life happens. And so what happened, he had a heart attack and he had a triple bypass. And I think throughout that experience, he realized that I'm missing a lot of time with my family. Mm. And so he has spent a lot of time with his family until he recuperate. But I think it's changed life for him.
Yeah, I mean, even that makes sense. Even the older you get, even the older I get, it's like you realize you start valuing your life more.
Yes, this is true.
You start
taking care of yourself.
I never worried about gut health, and back in the day. Now I'm like, I gotta make sure my gut health, my heart health is right. Make sure I exercise and try to eat right. It's once we realize your own mortality, which you don't realize when you're young. You think you live forever.
Right.
The strongest person in the world.
Right.
Until, it's like, you wake up and it's like, whoa, is my knee hurting? Right
yeah. One day you can run and another day you can't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's what makes me even stop worrying about outside jobs. And what I mean, not outside job, is like something that I don't really care about. I'm clocking in for somebody else. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's not for me. Like when I do this is for me. Mm-hmm. I try to make this happen for myself. And, I was reading this book called The Alchemist, and it has this line in there, and it says, once you find out what you really want to do, once you find out your true purpose, mm-hmm. That the universe will conspire to make it happen for you. And the reason I feel like nothing's really happening in the job I clock in for, because the universe knows I don't care about that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I feel like this is the calling,
Okay.
Or this type of thing is the calling.
Right.
So.
And you got to find, we can live life and never really know what our true purpose is. And so, and another thing that I do is I visit a lot of elderly people. Mm-hmm. And when I cook, when I make my soup, you always have to give back. So a certain portion of my soup, I take it to senior citizens, mm-hmm. that I know, and they enjoy it. And a lot of times I sit down and talk with them, because in order to have a fellowship or relationship, you have to fellowship. And so people love to fellowship, especially the seniors. Mm-hmm. They love someone to think about them, to just do little things. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be just a phone call, but we are too busy sometimes as a people doing so many other different things.
Yes. I go through that a lot myself. Like I miss phone calls, or I won't see it because I'm working,
right.
else, or man, a lot of times I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I don't hear the phone ring or something like that. And next thing I was like, God, I had a phone call to make yesterday after I got off work, and I told her I'm gonna call you when I get up. Mm-hmm. Still haven't called. just remembered it now.
Yes.
But it's a phone call that I need to make,
You'll make it.
And it's
especially after today.
Yeah.
You'll make it.
Yeah, so I understand all that, and I really do. This is, writing, which is one of the reasons why I like talking to you, is just because writing is something I like to do,
Okay.
So, like I said, I just found stuff I've written last year.
Okay.
I forgot about it. And I'm like, oh.
Now, what do you plan on doing with it?
I don't know if I want to turn it into poetry or I want to write just a story about me, just an autobiography type of, situation. So I'm still trying to figure it out. But my main focus is just write. I don't have an idea or a direction where it's going, but I know thoughts are in my head, so I'm writing them down.
Okay. Why is it that most of us, and I want to say maybe African Americans, because that's who I know, we don't put our poetry in a book. We will freestyle. We will go to spoken word. We have these long poems, but we won't take the time to put it in a book. And it's not that costly.
Right.
So I don't understand. Why not?
And that's true. Even in everyday conversation, you ever been talking to somebody or people and somebody just says the cleverest thing and it's like, and then it's gone, Right.
It's
like, you should write that down,
Right.
I have friends, we've come up with ideas, plays, sketches, all this stuff. Oh, we should make this happen. We should record this.
Don't go nowhere.
Never records anything. Hey, you guys still talking about recording this? I'm texting them. Oh, no, I can't do it this time, doing this. Or maybe I'm the one that's busy.
Yeah.
I can't come this time.
Right.
And sometimes it's like, you got to make a way. We got to get our stuff out there.
Right. My next book, my third book, I want it to be poetry. I want it to be reflections. I've gotten into writing reflections. I had a reflection about a penny. Because people walk over pennies. You can be at a gas station, see a penny, and people are like, oh, it's just a penny. So in this particular reflection, the penny is crying out because the penny wants attention too. They want to be like the silver and the gold because a lot of them make up that. Just that. So the penny is a little sorry because people walks over them. So that was my, reflection of a penny.
That reminds me of is it Maya Angelou? I don't know, but it's a poem. I read it when I was young, and she's riding along, and she looks at a pool hall or something like that.
Okay,
and all she did was wonder what were they doing in there? What's the conversation like in there? And it was like a whole poem she did, and it was just like all she did was just like, she's not in there, but I'm wondering what's going on.
Right.
Maybe they're doing this, maybe they're doing that. But that's pretty clever, honestly. Yeah,
it's such I'm learning that there's such a wide span of different ways of writing and poetry. And so that's what I think my mind is opening up to. And one of the things I realize, if you don't develop something, it can become stagnant and it won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I may have the gift of poetry, but if I don't expand it, by meditating, by thinking, if I don't expand it, then it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to lie stagnant within me. And I don't think any of us want anything to really lie stagnant within us.
No, that's the worst. I feel like those are the worst feelings to know you had it here and you did nothing with it.
That's true. That is
one of the, and then somebody else come up with that same thing. He's like, I thought of that.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
That's one of the worst things. Did you have, before you started writing, when you found out you wanted to write, did you have anybody that you looked up to or that you studied in the past?
You know what? I've never studied anybody. The biggest poet that I knew was Maya Angelou. And I looked at some of her things. But you know what? There is a lady, Miss Winbush was her name. I can't think of her first name, but she came to the school I was working at. I was working at Chandler Park Academy, and she came to the school to see the principal, Miss Jackson. Mm-hmm. And she sat across in the hall, and I went over to talk to her. And I looked at what she had, and she had 3 books. I think it was 2 or 3 books. And I asked her if I could see it. And I looked at it. And it had, one was poetry, and the other one was different, things that people say, different famous people. It was that book. It was really thick.
A book of quotes and stuff?
Yes, a book of quotes. And so I was very impressed with Miss Riley. I think her name was Winbush, Miss Winbush. Mm-hmm. I was very impressed with her, where she's gone on now. And so that, I looked up to her. Mm-hmm. And another thing I don't go listen to too much poetry, because I want to keep my own style. And so I think that might affect it if I do too much of that. So I don't do too much of that.
I had to learn that just recently, because I watch a lot of other podcasts that are my favorite people to watch.
Okay.
And I want to kind of I felt myself kind of emulate them and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, you can't do that because you're not you anymore.
Right.
You're trying to be something that you're not, and it's never going to work.
Right.
So I had to dial it back on looking at other people's podcasts, because you want your own life. You want your own.
That's right. That's right.
So that's cool. What's one of your favorite poems in this book?
Well,
Enlisten.
It's called Before I Rise. Before I rise, my soul lies in wait, searching for words to say. My heart starts to beat like the sound of an African drum from within my soul, words that form into poetry, and they start to flow. They challenge me, and I am ready to deliver from the gut of my soul. Poems of wisdom, poems of love, poems of knowledge rising above. Poems about my heritage and the places I've been. So before you rise at the dawn of a new day, lie still and let the words bubble up and take control, because you never know what might be rising from within your soul. That's my favorite.
Dang.
That's my favorite.
So in that point in life, where were you? What's going on in life?
I was sitting there, I think with that one, I was sitting there just looking out the window. Just looking out the window, thinking about the things that I think before I get out of the bed. Mm-hmm. And so that's what brought it about.
That's cool. You know what I started doing? And this is probably this year. On the whole, what do you think before you get out of bed and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. I started having a grateful feeling, when I get up in the morning, I'm like, oh, I'm grateful for being alive. I'm grateful for, thankful for waking me up.
Yes, yeah.
I started having that sort of affirmations or just saying it over and over again, and just trying to make my attitude better for that day. So I always have a gratitude attitude when I wake up.
Okay.
It's been making my days a lot better.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Because what you have on your heart first thing in the morning, when you get up and you give your thanks to the Almighty Creator, mm-hmm. and you do that, and you think positive things, because if you wake up and you got other things on your mind, you got to clear your mind with being grateful. I've had the past couple of weeks, I had to put a furnace in. I had to get a new stove. My lease was about time for my lease, so I got another car. And this stuff costs money.
Yeah.
But I couldn't worry about it. And I just had to give it up. But it was good to have the money to do it than to have to go out and borrow it.
Right.
So I was thankful for that.
Yeah, I have a friend. She's going through her I think a water heater bust in her house, and her whole first floor is torn apart. And they, set up in like some cheap motel and bugs in and stuff like that. And she was luckily she can get it fixed, but it's the hassle of it all. But she's trying to stay, even though it's a hassle for her, and she don't want to, something that you just don't want to be part of.
Right.
Right. But she's like, trying to stay grateful, trying to stay, positive attitude.
I got two sayings, and I think I'm going to put it on a shirt. One is, it could be worse. Mm-hmm. And the other one is, I'm not complaining, Lord. I'm just saying.
Yes, I like that one. Because sometimes it's like, I'm not complaining.
Now, don't y'all take that now. Don't take it.
Just saying.
I'm not complaining, Lord. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. I have another poem, too, that I would like to read. I think I know it by heart. And it's called I Was Born 3 Times. Now, this one I wrote because I wrote this for a family reunion book. And I think I know that one by heart.
Okay.
But it's out of an African rock. And it's called I Was Born 3 Times. The thing about it is, I was born 3 times. The first time I was born is when I was pulled from my mother's womb and the doctor slapped me on my behind. The second time I was born again is when God saved my soul from eternal hell. It was a beautiful experience, and He cleansed my soul from within. The third time I was born again is when I took a trip to Mississippi in 1988. And that's where my father was pulled from his mother's womb and slapped on his behind. So much wisdom, so much knowledge. I wonder, oh man, if I can ever take it all in. You see, the thing about it is, if you keep your family's history alive in you, then one day someone else might be born 3 times too.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah, 3 times. I felt like I was born 3 times.
I've never heard it put like that before.
Yeah. That's what's in the mind.
Yeah, that's why we should always write that stuff
down. You're right.
Somebody's perspective can always help you.
Do sometimes you have something on your mind and you may write it down, but then you go back to it later and maybe complete it?
Yeah, well, I do that sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes where I leave off, like, because honestly, especially when I'm at work and I'm feeling some sort of emotion, mm-hmm. I'm right fast too. I'm just getting everything how I'm feeling out until I just can't write no more. And then where I'm at, it's like, it's more like the release of it. Like, it's a release. You know? So I'm like, if I stopped here, that means I was over.
Okay.
But now if I'm writing something positive or something as far as encouraging myself, mm-hmm. then yes, I will pick back up just to add more to it.
Okay.
So it just depends on where I'm at when I'm writing.
Okay. Excuse me. Are you almost ready for Lady Dean to come out?
Yeah. I am ready for that. Okay. Is this over here?
Oh, no, I got you here. So this is something you can kind of take out.
This is the acting part of the show. We got a whole nother guest coming. She's been waiting to come out.
She's a comer.
You have a whole Facebook where you do this the character, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, we got to get that out there too.
Yes, I do. Hope you can take this part out.
What's her name?
Coming from Detroit. Yeah, it was a nice flight. How you doing?
I'm great. How you enjoying Texas?
I'm enjoying it, but I hear this is like the rodeo season. And yes. I'm looking for a cowboy. Anybody out there want a cowgirl? Because I'm looking for a cowboy. If you wasn't my cousin, you kind of cute. I'll be trying to hit on you, boy.
Yeehaw.
Oh, man. Anyway, I got some rouge in here somewhere. I don't go nowhere without my rouge, because I gotta keep my lips tight, You never know when a cowboy or something's gonna come up and want to kiss you.
Gonna mosey on up, right?
You never know. So, but I always say, this is what I always say. You gotta look good for the fish. Mm-hmm. And you gotta look good for the boys. Girls, you better get yourself together. Don't be walking around here like you in the house all the time. Try to look a little cute, because don't no man want to be bothered with a woman ain't taking care of herself,
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, so anyway, Doris Dean let me out for a little while. So you got any questions for mine?
Yeah, so what do you do for fun? Do you write too? Are you trying to write?
No, I leave that to my sister, Doris Dean. But I like to go out and have a little wine now and then. Just a little bit. And I like to go out on a date now and then. Just to have a little fun. Because some of y'all don't know how to have fun. You might need a prescription for it. Prescription for fun. I got some pills that'll help you be a little happy.
Wait, does Doris know you do all this?
She don't know everything.
Oh.
Do you tell your mama everything?
I don't.
Okay. You think I should?
No. Hey, she might not like
All right then. But I'm like the fun side of Doris. Sometimes she get a little stuffy,
Man, we all have those. We all have them.
But what I'm going to tell you what I'm so sad for on the plane, Doris Dean didn't have enough room for her girls.
Oh.
She couldn't bring her girls. She couldn't bring her girls. She didn't bring my girls. She took hers, but she didn't bring mine.
You can't have that. You must have flew Spirit.
Oh, man. Next time. Yeah, I ain't fly Spirit, but still I had a lot of stuff. But you know what? I'm going to have to talk to her about that, because this can't happen again. It just can't happen again. So, and anyway, Doris Dean, she be eating all that vegan food. She won't feed me no pork.
I tried to tell. No, she tried to trick you with them ribs. Don't trust those ribs.
I want some pork sometimes, some bacon with the skins on it. I want that stuff sometimes. But before Lady Dean goes, she got a tip for you. Are you finished talking to me? Because I got a tip. I always give a tip to the people.
What's the tip? I need a tip. The people need a tip.
Well, the tip is, you see this piece of paper? Now, if you do this, it's on you. It ain't on me. Okay? You got to understand. So don't be trying to sue me. I got a disclaimer. So you take this piece of paper in your mouth, and if you have some problems, like smoking cigarettes or doing too much drinking, or like smoking a little, with a little bud there, then you just put this in your mouth, chewing like this a little bit, and that'll like cure the problem. Yeah. Okay? That'll cure the problem for you.
That problem may create another problem.
Yeah, it will. But anyway, it's time for Lady Dean to go, because Doris Dean is telling her she gotta go. She's a little bit too much right now. So I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna go right now, okay? So bye-bye.
All right, till next time.
All right.
You know, you just missed your sister.
Oh, did I miss her?
You missed her.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she was just here.
Oh, Lord. She is something else, isn't she?
Something else.
Wow. Eating paper and stuff, talking about how that's going to help you not have a habit. Chewing paper is a habit.
That's talent. This is talent. This is talent. This is talent.
Oh,
Author, actress, entrepreneur, philanthropist, whatever. So what are your name of books again?
An African Rock. That's my first book. Listen. This is the second one. Comes in hardcover and paperback. And this one is A Widow's Resilience.
Talk about this before we go. Talk about this.
Okay. A Widow's Resilience is 14 women tell how we have wisdom and just information on how to help you if you lost a loved one, especially a husband. And all of these women, all 14 of us lost our husbands, and we tell how we moved on in life. So it's just keys to how to move on in life after losing your husband. It's not too many books out like this. It's a very good book. Mm-hmm. And if you want to order it, you can go on Amazon and order it. You can order any of these on Amazon. I prefer you to order them from me, especially Listen and An African Rock. And you can find me at Doris, Doris, Turner, Hannah. I'm sorry, Doris Hannah Turner.
That's a lot of names.
Yes.
You gotta remember.
Yes, Doris Hannah Turner. Well, you know, you got to get your maiden name in there.
Got to.
You know, you got to get that in there. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook. My email is Turner, TURNER .Doris, DORIS 0054 at gmail.com.
All right. And one more thing before you get out. Any advice for women, kids, whatever, who want to get into writing and don't know where to start?
Well,
don't know how to start.
If you have a lot of you, if you want to get into writing, most of you probably have already written. And if you have pieces of paper lying around, stuff that you've been writing for years, consider putting it in a book, because nobody can see it if it's laying around in a desk, under the bed, in a closet. You know, nobody can see it. Mm-hmm. So pull your work out so that people can see it. Don't be afraid. It's not as expensive as you think.
Good. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with us again at Not So Common NSC. Maybe next time Q will be here. We'll see. But you can find us at all platforms at Not So Common NSC. YouTube, Clapper, Twitter, all of it, Spotify. Show us some love. Subscribe. Peace, fam.
Look at me. What about me would make you think that I care about your opinion of me?